and welcome back to Walker Tea Review, or welcome for the first time if you are a beginning viewer. We're looking at teas. This is the season of Chinese New Year, the season of Valentine's, and I've got a picture here of my Valentine, my wife, and you may be thinking about gifts for that special someone. There are some special romantic tea gifts available out there you may want to check out. I'll try to put a link for that so that you can see a little bit more about what they have to offer. We're looking at a green tea today. This is from Rishi. It is JadeCloud. I actually had one of you viewers out here, at least one of you, contacted me to say, "Hey, Jason, can we review and look at JadeCloud together?" And so this is in part. You see this today because of your request. Send those requests. Keep them coming. Leave me a comment on the website. You see my email there. You see Twitter, Facebook as well. So find the most convenient way for you to reach me, and I'll get back to you with a review and with a response. We've got our basic tea equipment here as well, so you can join this tea tasting. You can join other tea tastings that you request, and you'll be able to see information on that. Click on the button right up above that says Join a Tea Tasting, and you'll find a schedule. Now, what you'll see is that I'm using a regular teaspoon. When you click that button, you'll also see information on the tea equipment that you may want to use and that you may need to get. For example, a gaiwan, a traditional style Chinese preparation method, the gong fu style. And we've got about a teaspoon that I used here because of the leaves can kind of bulk up and spread out. I had to kind of get part of a teaspoon, put it in, add another part, but overall it covers the bottom of this is a 4-ounce gaiwan. Let's go ahead and get some water on this, get it going so we can give this some time to steep, and then we'll talk about this tea. So there we go with our water. Let me set this out of the way, get our water out of the way as well. As we said, this is a green tea. This is from Rishi Tea. This is their organic JadeCloud. So that tells us right off from the very front of the package, this is an organic tea. This is also a fair trade tea. A 1-ounce size can be had for $3 at Rishi's website. This tea was actually grown in Hubei province. It's listed as the origin here on the package as well. I actually lived in Hubei province for about 3.5 years. This was from the western part. I lived Wuhan, which is in the capital. It's in the central part of Hubei province. And these are some of the teas that some of the first Chinese kind of local Chinese teas that I first came to experience when I was living in China. So when we talk about teas, we're really looking at 3 areas: the dry leaf, the wet, and the liquor. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this dry leaf. Get some smells out. Now, lots of vibrant green related smells. There is a little bit of that lemon zest, kind of a citrus note to it, but it's also got a vegetable sweetness. You're getting some kind of asparagus and spinach smells, green sweetness coming off of that. Now when you look at the leaf, some of the things you're noticing is that these are a rich green, almost they're very dark green, almost dark, moving over towards a kind of a gray green, rich colors there. Not dull or aged, but just rich green. Let's see, we have leaves that are an inch or so in size, or on average, I would say. This one's got a little piece of a stem, so we could get the indication that this may be 2 leaves and a bud as far as the style of harvest and what is actually rolled together, wrapped up together here. Yes, wrapped along that main center vein of the leaf, so that makes them narrow and long, wiry looking in appearance. And I'm not seeing a lot of fuzz. I'm not seeing a lot of silvery tip looking, so that tells us a little bit about what kind of tea that we have here. Doesn't look like it's going to be the fuzzy buddy type, but Let's look at our wet leaf and get a better, clearer picture of that. For a gaiwan, a little bit of skill, a little bit of show to put on when you pour from a gaiwan. You lean your lid over to the side so that you got a lower angle over here, pouring through this from this side. Air kind of enters from the upper part opening here, and you put your index finger and thumb on the rim. I'm sorry, the middle finger and thumb on the rim. Index finger holds your lid, and you pour just like this. Get those last few drops to come out, because those can be very concentrated, potent. We'll set that aside so we can kind of talk about our wet leaf now. First off, we want to give it a good smell. See what kind of smells are coming off. A little bit of stronger notes of how this tea had been heated. There's a heating process, that's going to dry out the leaves to a certain extent. It's going to lock in that green note so it doesn't oxidize. So you've got kind of a cooked, baked green bean type smell. Still a little bit of sweetness. Again, that's kind of an asparagus type sweetness still in there. So that's quite nice. And then let's open up and kind of look at our leaves a little more closely. Our leaves have actually, some of them you'll see here, are still pretty tightly wrapped, which can be a good indication that even the second steeping and subsequent steepings will have some flavor and some significant amount of flavor, that these leaves have not fully opened up, released all their flavor, and that's it. So that's a good sign for it, going for it so far. Actually, in off-camera tastings that held up to be true, second steepings, subsequent steepings did have plenty of flavor to them. These are all still fairly tightly wrapped. I'm going to look for a couple that are opened up, unfurled. Here's a piece, part of a leaf, fully unfurled, rich dark green. We're still getting rich green, kind of emerald green colors, and I'm looking for any kind of indication as to tips or buds or that sort of thing. And I would say for the most part, until these leaves open up, you're left with the idea that these are single leaf, or there are single leaf sets, single leaves in there, not necessarily leaf sets. Yeah, no indication yet, so we're going to stick with that assessment. We are going to move on, of course, and talk about what many people feel is the main event, the liquor itself. Got our wine glass, gives us an appearance of that yellow with a tinge of greenness. That tinge of greenness is an added bonus, or an advantage to this tea, a pro, because it gives us indication there's quite a bit of freshness in this. We also use the wine glass because you can stick your nose in pretty deeply and get a smell, and this one's giving off some smells, a little bit of a brothy, kind of creamy note as far as the smell, hints that this could be brothy or creamy. So let's give it a try. But actually, the brothiness is, let's say, on par with traditional or standard Hubei style greens. Not a good creamy feel like you might get from a Japanese gyokuro, like we've detected in some Maojians, like we've detected in some of the higher quality Liuan Guapian. No, this one's got lower level of brothiness to it than those. The aroma, or as I say, the aromas and taste, still getting some of that asparagus type, combined with a hint of spinach in there, so it's got some good vegetable notes to it. Stringency is fairly mild. especially compared to, say, yesterday's White Monkey, which had Bilochuans, those type of greens that have a higher bite of astringency to them. This one's milder than that. The aftertaste does kind of have a little bit of a buttery, nutty type aspect to it. Hint of the asparagus still in the aftertaste. So you're getting a fairly rounded, complex aroma palette or range there. You are getting a little bit of a smooth feel in your mouth as far as the texture of this tea. The astringency level should be palatable for many people, but of course not everyone. So it's mid-level on the astringency. What else do we find? We could have gone a little bit more. I'm making notes, or I'm referring to my notes, because I gave this tea an 89. I wanted to see a bit more balance in the aroma to astringency level. I felt like the astringency could have gone down even a bit more while bringing up the aroma aspect, the flavors, so that those were not so those were more in balance or in sync with each other. But overall, an excellent tea to look at for if you want to experience some of teas from central China, being Hubei province. Again, fair trade, organic. Rishi has a good brand, a good name built up for itself. Something that you may want to try and get a taste for a characteristic Hubei style tea. Come back and join us next time. Don't forget that special Valentine, or perhaps build up and find that special Valentine that you want to share a tea with. And come back and join us next time on Walker Tea Review. We're going to be looking at a Wu Yi, which would be a Fujian style dark roasted Wulong here at Walker Tea Review.